Hello, welcome to another episode of the CFO Podcast. Hello, welcome to another episode of CFO to CFO, where we discuss finance with the people who actually live it. I'm Toby, and today I have an amazing host, someone who wears many hats, from chartered accountant to tax expert, a thought leader, a content creator. And I'm so excited to have an all-round finance guru, Mr. Adeniyi Bamgboye. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I'm so happy to
welcome,
be here.
sir. And I think we'll just go right into it. Before we came on set, we already started talking. You're a fellow of ACCA, ICANN, and CITN, and calling all of that already makes me feel like even without writing exams, I ought to be on that to have. I feel like I've already bagged my own badge. So, but seriously, it's been 16 years from banking to audit to tax. So, can you tell us how that journey has been so far?
Okay, thank you for having me once again.
Yeah.
And it's I'm so happy to be here. It's been a journey of resilience, perseverance, and as you rightly said, I started my career um, in Oceanic Bank. From there, I moved on to Simba Group. From there, I moved on to Ernst and Young. It's one of the big four firms. I moved on to later worked with Intertech, IGIHMO before now um, setting up my own firm. I think that was roughly 10 years ago.
Hmm.
So it's been a wonderful journey so far. We give God all the glory.
That's amazing. Well done, sir. So speaking about your journey still, if you had to walk us through it from your early days at Oceanic to leading your own firm now, what's the thread that connects all these experiences together?
Okay, first of all, is it's right from my childhood.
Hmm.
I've wanted to be an accountant. I've always had my way with figures. So I knew I'm actually living the
Your
life I wanted
dream.
to live. So I've always, like I said earlier, I've always have my way with numbers, mathematics. So being an accountant with that foundation, so being an accountant has always been what I wanted to do right from childhood. So right from my primary school, secondary school to higher institution, while I was writing my professional exam up to this point. So I think it's been great. It's been great, and looking back 10 years ago, things have changed. Over 10 years ago, when I was doing 9 to 5, it was all about getting the certification, getting promotion, getting higher salaries. But now it's all about creating value, giving value to clients. Because apart from being a business accountant, I'm an entrepreneur. So you have to give value. You have to do more. You have to do more. You have to lead people. You have to be able to communicate and, you know, collaborate, in the on the road of, while giving those value to your numerous clients. So
Thank you for
yes, let me
that.
stop
So,
here for now.
speaking about, you mentioned and entrepreneurship, and if we're to put being an entrepreneur and doing the 9 to 5 life, how would you compare both? Because it's not the same thing. So how would you say that? How would you compare the both of them? Because even then, when you were doing your 9 to 5, things were different then, and having to do your own business as at now when things have changed. So what would you say the experience has been thus far,
Okay,
comparing the both of them?
there are two different experiences, so to speak. They are not the same. While while doing 9 to 5, my paycheck obviously, I had constant paycheck, constant inflows. It's a more structured, formal environment. But now, while not, but now, currently, even before, even okay, let me cast your mind back to when I started. I started from my room. So
Interesting.
yes, I started from my
Oh, that's
room.
your entrepreneurial
Yes, yeah,
business.
my
Okay.
entrepreneurial journey started from my room with my laptop, and I had to do so many things all by myself. So it's like as I said earlier, it's been an interesting journey, seeing that firm grow into what we have now. Now we now have people, both internal and external people working for us. So it's one has structure, the other you have to build the structure, and keep nurturing it. It's up to this time.
Thank you for that. That was very interesting. Having to start from your room and to where you are now. It's well done, sir. So many Nigerians aspire to go beyond traditional banking. And I mean traditional bank is not the way it used to be. So with your evolution, how do you define success compared to 10 years ago?
Okay,
And what motivates you to keep still going?
okay. If I want to answer your question loosely, I'll say the fear of poverty, because you just have to keep up. You just have
Yeah.
to keep. But seriously speaking, if I want to look at or appraise any person, or if I want to define success, I'll look at it from a prism of how many people have you raised? How valuable are you? How valuable have you been? What has been your contribution to the lives of those looking up to you, those you are mentoring? What is your impact? So my life is all about impact, because the work we do, the work I do as I said earlier, the work I do as an accountant, as a tax practitioner, is all about giving value, because you must be able to justify your fee at the end of the day.
Thank you for that. So you mentioned something about tax. Is just out of what the conversation we are having. When maybe one of your clients calls you to say, "Oh, they brought the letter," or like maybe they've been evading tax for a while or something, or they just get a letter from the tax operation. How do you react to it? Like, how do you feel? Do you go, okay, I'm coming, just calm down, that kind of thing? How do you react to such calls?
I always tell my client, anytime you receive a letter, a love letter from the revenue,
Yeah.
either state or federal, I always tell them, take a deep breath and drink water. There is no cause for panic. I always tell them the letter was written by human being, by human beings, so to speak. So you just have to look at the content of the letter, read it. If it's a letter you have what it takes to respond to, look at the time frame, study the content of that letter meticulously. If it's something you can report to, do so immediately so that they don't use that against you. If it's something that you see as complex, it's advisable to seek the help of a professional, maybe a tax consultant, depending on where the pendulum swings to. So, and if it involves you calling your accountant, your in-house accountant, depending on your size, the size of your company. So, just if you know you can handle it yourself, respond. You just have to respond,
Yeah.
because your inability to respond is like postponing the doomsday. It's just like sitting on a keg of time bomb. So study it, take a deep breath. If you know you can handle it, seek professional help.
Thank you for that. I believe everyone will take note with that. And while we are on the topic of tax, before we came on board, we were already having some conversations. I'd explained to you that, oh, I bought
It's a big
something.
topic. Oh.
Yes, we have to. It's something that we
You
cannot
can't
shy
exhaust.
away from, because what's coming for Nigerians starting 2026, it's something that everyone has to start planning so that it doesn't just come to them as a surprise. And I had mentioned earlier that I bought something and I saw VAT, I saw consumption tax. And this is a conversation that we are going to have now. The Nigerian tax and audit landscape is undergoing change. What are the top tax law changes today that business owners in Lagos should know and how they should be responding?
There are so many of them, but because of time, I will mention the capital gain tax.
Very
It's
important.
initially it used to be 10%, but now
It's
it's
30%.
now 30%, and it has also been embedded into the company income tax and the personal income tax. So well, and the focus now too is on documentation as well. Entrepreneurs, business owners alike must document their trans, and that's where your company comes in. So you have to document, because there's a tax called presumptive tax. It's a tax that is simply put, is a tax that is levied when you don't have proper documentation in place. So we talk of the company income tax, capital gain tax, personal income tax, and everything centers around your ability to be able to prove to the revenue service that you actually incurred certain expenses, and you can back them up with supporting documents. Um, yeah, that's for now.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I'm very familiar with the capital gains tax and the income tax. So that was very insightful. So on the corporate side now, many SMEs and even mid-sized firms in Nigeria struggle with compliance, auditing and tax planning. So what are the practical steps that you'd advise a CFO or finance director to implement to strengthen their position in such areas?
Okay, the first thing to for me to the first advice I will give such an organization is to prioritize training. Training is very, very important, because you can't understand what you don't know. You must train your staff so that they will know the essence of non-compliance. You know. Secondly is automation. I mentioned it earlier. You must try as much as possible to automate
Yep.
your transactions, bookkeeping, depending on the size of the organization. Bookkeeping is very important. Putting internal controls in place is also very important. You talk about structures, processes. There must be who signs what, who has powers to do who has the approval, what are the approval limits. There must be structure, there must be controls within the organization. So you don't turn the organization into a banana republic where anything goes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I can. Let me stop there for now.
Thank you very much, sir. So, with also your expertise, right, in audit and tax, what are the common audit failings that you see in Nigerian firms that lead to higher risk or costs, and how can those be mitigated?
Okay, I can link that back to the question you asked earlier. Record keeping, lack of record keeping is it's number one. Number two is governance issues, where you see a company is someone handling everything.
Yeah, just one.
Even using the studio here as an example, we have the DOP, we have cameraman, we have you here.
Oh, dear.
All these are shared responsibilities. But we can't. But if you have an organization whereby this person authorizing a transaction is the person approving it, that's like sitting on a time bomb. So lack of controls is also a very, so all these things delay audits unnecessarily, because if you don't have supporting documents that you present to the auditor, it will be very difficult for the auditor to review your work and for them to finish and conclude the audit in record time.
That's very valid. I mean, I'm painting a scenario in my head, and I know how everybody's always running around when it's time for auditing.
Exactly.
You have to, all receipts must be accounted for, all pennies, all everything must be accounted for. So I know what it seems like when auditing happens. So also leading to the next question, many Nigerian business owners often complain that dealing with FIRLs feels like climbing a tax mountain, especially with issues like double taxation. You mentioned that earlier, and unclear guidelines. With the new 2026 tax framework, do you think we're finally seeing some real progress towards simplifying things, or are we still going back to paperwork and from one table to another?
No, things are getting better. At least we now have things are getting better. The number of taxes are now reducing, at least on paper, based on what we are seeing. And the government has shown uh, purposefulness. They've shown the zeal to change things. So that itself is a win for me, and it's because I'm an optimistic Nigerian. If all my mates are now somewhere in Canada, so me
So
being
you
here
believe
shows.
Nigeria will work?
So yes, I believe Nigeria. So me being here shows how optimistic I am about this country, and I feel very highly of this country, and I believe it will work. It will work well for us. So going back to your question, as I said earlier, they've been able to streamline it. And what I would advise business owners and entrepreneurs to do is to stay abreast with current changes. In fact, have a tax practitioner as a friend. You know, follow those audit firms, tax firms.
Yeah.
You can follow them online. They share tips regularly. Read, because tax laws are quite complex.
Yes.
So if you have to read to understand what the law says. So you mentioned the FRS earlier.
Yeah.
I always say those letters you mentioned were written by human beings. So when you see those letters, just understand the content. And when you don't seem to understand, seek help. Seek help. So that's yeah.
Very, very valued. Thank you for that, sir. So, before we came on board again, I think the conversation already started before we even came online.
Yes,
So we said something. Someone had asked earlier that, do you think Nigerians are compliant, or is it that they are not paying taxes? So, with that, do you think the 2025 new tax laws would somehow prompt people to be compliant and just change things generally to be digitized and all of that? So do you think that this is going to make people compliant?
Yes, it should, but I believe it will happen over time. It's not like a magic wand that says, okay, come the January 1st, 2026, every Nigerian will start with tax compliance. It's a gradual process. At least we now have the NI. We now have the BVN. These are the tools. These are the things that will drive the compliance. So it's a gradual thing. We are talking of 5-10 years to this time. So we can't achieve everything next year. Yes, but as time goes on, I believe it's
a gradual thing.
it's a gradual thing. It's a gradual process.
All right, thank you for that, sir. So, we had said that most people are concerned that they don't see where their tax is going, so they will not pay. Do you think there's something that the government can actually do to phase out that kind of thought from Nigerians, the minds of every Nigerian, so that it would prompt something in them to make sure that, okay, I'm paying my tax, I'm seeing where it's going to. Do you think there's something that the government can actually do to curb that mindset?
Yes, it's very simple. The government should lead by example. Though our leaders should cut down the flamboyant life they currently live. They should lead by example, because it's just like someone like me with my old pack going to the gym to apply as a gym instructor. So you can't be preaching frugality
Yeah,
and be
you're
living
not
a lavish life.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to say. They have to lead by example, and they should also be they should do more awareness. I remember when Governor Babatunde Fashola was the governor of Lagos State. You see signboards. It pays to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So anybody that sees that, subconsciously would eat you. Okay, at least they are communicating. So I think the government, even both at the federal and the state level, throughout the federation, can also do that so that the citizens will see that the government is actually using,
The money.
billboards, signboards can do the magic. Okay, your tax is in action. Pay your tax. All these things will go a long way in reducing tax evasion, increasing the tax morale, and overall reducing the aversion of people towards paying taxes.
Thank you for that, sir. That was very insightful. And again, I believe the tax conversation is not going to end till
It's
till
a very
whenever.
long, it's a very long one.
Because people want to still understand. And I think one way or the other, we'll still have this conversation again to educate people.
Yeah.
So now moving from that, we want to talk about financial management, fraud control, and all of that. So how do you build a culture, a financial culture in a company where people spend responsibly, even when no one is watching? How do you build that culture where people have to be alert that, okay, I have to do things right, even if no one is watching? How do you build that kind of culture?
Very lovely question. I will link that back to the question you asked about transparency.
Yeah.
There is in corporate governance, there is what they call setting the tone at the top. You have to lead by example. You can't be spending lavishly and expect your subordinates to not to spend lavishly. Because after all, this is what our boss is doing. So first of all, it's about leadership. The leadership must lead by example. You must show the way. There must be communication. There must be training. And even the budget setting process too must be all encompassing. Every department within the organization must be carried along at the beginning of the year while setting the budget. So the HR manager knows that, okay, before he can send a request to the finance unit, or the salesman will know, okay, is this expense, has it been budgeted for? Once they know that, they will know. Once they are part of the process, they will know, okay, and they can easily defend it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, okay, this is already in the budget, and we can. So there must be congruency within the organization. They must work as a unit, single unit. Yeah.
Interesting. So fraud. We hear about fraud a lot. And it's something that happens, and most businesses don't talk about it publicly because they don't want someone coming to say, oh, these people, or cut off business transactions. So from your experience, what would you say it's some of the red flags that these people miss when such thing is about to happen?
Okay, talking about, I made a post about, it's a reform post about that, something similar to your question, like 2 days ago on my Facebook. I said if a staff who doesn't like going on leave is a significant red flag.
Really?
Yes, because why won't you go on leave? Why wouldn't you want to go on leave? That means there is something you are trying to cover. So that itself, over familiarity on job, lack of checks and balances. As I said earlier, one person, overseeing a transaction from the beginning to the end, from cradle to grave, is a big red flag. I used this studio as an example. There's division of labor. Someone is handling the camera, someone is handling the light, another person is handling the lighting. So for fraud not to take place in an organization, there must be controls, internal controls in place. to ensure that at least, although even though people still bypass controls, but you can put, and you must invest in technology.
Yes.
That's where your company
Very
comes in.
important.
So once you automate, the chances of fraud will be reduced at least to a barest minimum. So even the person trying to perpetrate that fraud will work more. And the process of that person working more,
You will find
you
out.
will be caught.
Yes.
The system will catch up with that person.
You know, the way you put it, I've actually never not thought about it that when someone doesn't go on leave, because some people say I don't like going on leave, and I'm like, how would you like going on leave?
No, it's a red flag.
That's true, but that's a very, so I think anybody that I see now, you say, have you gone on leave? You say no. I would say you're a suspect, basically.
Yes, you
So
have
they
to
should
go
watch
on,
out for
you
you.
have to go on leave.
That's nice.
We will make you go on leave.
So have you ever discovered a fraud case?
Yes. Yes. I was the head of internal control and risk management for an oil service company for 4 years. So I've investigated several cases of fraud and irregularities. Yes, several.
So how do you handle such cases?
You have to be professional about it, and you let those people know. You know, you have to be upright. You have to be a professional with high ethical value and integrity. You must carry yourself with respect, and your reporting too must be top notch. You know, you must report your findings very well, and you must be objective. You must be objective in your dealings. So the hunter will not be the hunted.
Moving on from that, if you were to build a fraud-proof system, right, in a fraud-proof system like a company in Nigeria today, where would you start from? Tech, people, or processing?
It's the people.
I think I support that.
The people will drive the process. And without the process, there won't be tech.
Yeah.
Because you must first of all document your process before using tech to enhance it or to make it better. So the people comes first. I always tell people, AI, can you send AI to Agile MSTU to resolve your tax issue? No, there's a limit to what AI can do. And it is the people that will prompt AI to do whatever you want
It to do.
Yeah, so it's people before
Process and tech.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for that. I think the fraud questions excited me because I've never been in a situation where that kind of thing happens, and seeing you that as someone that has experienced it, as cobbed it.
I can give you more detail if you don't.
Oh no, I mean that's very. It's not something that is talked about. Like you don't hear it. Most times you just hear, oh, this or maybe EFCC comes on board, and then so that's something that it's a conversation that people. I mean, I think having that conversation will also keep people alerted to know that, oh, when this thing is about to happen, you have to be put in precaution measures to curb it. Yes, control it. So, and I know for one, in banks, you see that a lot. Unlike maybe in small businesses, it's just maybe, okay, someone's stealing this, someone's stealing that. But for you that has worked, like you've sat on top of such things. So, I mean, you might still share another story with us. Was there at any point that maybe even when you're in the bank or when you caught someone, how maybe they tried to deny it or something? How did you react to such a thing?
You can't deny because everything, we work with hard facts and evidence. It's evidence-based. So it's, okay, let me just share a very skeletal example. It was a case of a staff colluded with a vendor to defraud the company. So it now took the other company that now wrote our company and you're telling us to investigate that case. So we eventually investigated it, requested for their own document, requested for some documents from them, and we reconciled with what we have, and at the end of the day, we were able to came up with the discrepancy, and we quantified the amount that guy actually stole from the company, and he didn't deny because it was so glaring. So he didn't deny. Eventually, he was told to go home. Yes, you
Without
can't.
any
Yes,
severance pay or anything.
such an individual
Yeah.
can't be in the system. You know, putting someone like that in the system is a risk factor,
Yes. it is.
big risk factor. Before that person now steal all of us that are in the
That's very
company.
interesting.
So that's yeah.
Thank you
That's
for
that's
that. Thank you
yeah.
for that story. I mean, for anyone that does not know, this is the reason why Budgeti is there, because you mentioned vendor, and with Budgeti, there's vendor payments. There's no way you would miss it because it has to be accounted for. And with such system, you can find out when it is about to go awry. Okay, once you notice it, you flag it down. The person would then have to now, okay, look for how to make sure. So for everyone listening, Budgeti is your go-to. In fact, it is the number one system that will help you notice when a fraudulent transaction is about to happen. So moving on from that, you built a career around numbers. Like you said, you've been very interested in numbers but at its core, finance is really about truth. So how do you maintain transparency and honesty in an environment where people sometimes prefer fine-tuned reports?
That's very difficult. It will be a very difficult environment for me to operate because my name is very. I belong to 3 solid professional bodies,
Yes.
and I wouldn't want anything
To happen to your
to happen to my name
Yeah.
because as a professional, you are your name. Your name is you.
Yeah.
So if anything happens to your name, it will affect your career and even your source of livelihood. So it's a no-go area for me. You know, it's a no-go area for me. So I try as much, if I'm in that environment, I try as much as possible not to move close to that environment. And unknowingly, if I find myself in that environment, I will turn to Ben Johnson and pick race immediately. I will disappear.
Of course. Your name is it's just like how you build your name.
Yes.
Maybe taking it away from finance now, people that are in the film industry, you see them, their name is what makes them stand out. So
yes.
it's a valid point. Thank you for that. Yeah. So many Nigerians, right, still, even with all the systems, AI and all of that, they still rely on manual and outdated systems. So how do you convince a leadership that this is something that they have to adopt into their system?
Okay. A lot of them. I'll answer this question in 2 ways. Most of them see it as a capital-intensive venture.
Yeah.
And secondly, even record keeping should not be something, I always say it, should not be something that technical. It could be something as simple as you holding your phone, scanning it and filing it online. It doesn't cost you anything. That's record keeping. You can't call that a manual processing.
Yeah.
There are so many free invoicing apps you can use to track your sales. So all this little, and these things doesn't cost money. So most of those businesses that still carry this notion you talked about are doing it out of the fear of, being unable to afford the costs of such of automation. The cost of automation. So I think that's where the fear of everybody loves good things. At least for someone to afford, if you can afford a phone, then you should be able to within your capacity, you should be able to replicate that to your business so that your business will move smoothly. And I'm also enjoying your company if you can do something similar to that for smaller organization, so they can take advantage of that.
Okay, so I mean, Budget is listening, so I'm sure we'll be able to do. Although we have invoicing, you can use invoicing to all of the things you mentioned. You can use invoicing for that. So it's
Track
not,
your
it's,
sales.
yes, it's not a problem at all. Again, Bugatti is your go-to. It feels like I'm selling Bugatti, but it's something that we've seen and we know that, yes, Bugatti is the one that can, even a lot of the financial headaches that you have in your business, Bugatti can literally take it away from you. So thank you for that. And Bugatti is listening, so we'll incorporate a lot of things into the system. So this is just just to break the ice. We've been talking. So now some accountants say that Excel has caused more heartbreaks for them than Lagos traffic. If I'm to ask you, what's your own love story with Excel? Is it let me not say a love story. What kind of relationship do you have with Excel?
Ah, my relationship with my
It sounds
relationship.
as if no Excel has disappointed you because you
No,
sighed a bit.
no, not that. What I wouldn't say, I'm not an Excel expert, but I always say that I find my way around Excel.
Everybody
Excel is
does.
very wide.
Yes.
If you tell me, if I want to do an assessment for you, and I ask you to rate yourself, to rate yourself about your knowledge of Excel, and you tell me 7/10, I'll just laugh. Because some of my friends that I know that are very proficient
Yeah.
with Excel, they will still tell me that their knowledge is 3/10. And I'll now look at myself, and I call myself an accountant. So what I'm trying to say is that I know Excel to the level that I can perform to the extent that I can do whatever I want to do on Excel. So Excel is very wide. It's not something you can know overnight. You can always, even the Indians, the tech guys, that they are still doing more research on Excel. So I always tell them, just do what you need to do on Excel,
Yeah.
and move on with your
from
life.
it.
You
Yeah.
can't exhaust it.
Yeah.
It's too large.
That's very valid, even for my own personal experience. I think there are times where I need to do something on Excel and I'm like, okay, here we go again. As someone that deals with numbers, you cannot run away from Excel
No,
because
you
it
can't.
would
You can't.
actually help you. But one way or the other, you just find your way around it. Or sometimes you just search and then you just know that you found your way through. So now we talked about you have a lot of you've bagged a lot of professional certificates, right? So I'd say as someone deeply involved in ICANN and CITM boards, what do you think is the next the next finance leaders? What do you think they need to succeed?
Okay, they need patience. They need patience. They need their professional certification. They need to be ethical. They need to be people of integrity. They need mentorship. They need so many things to be able to. But in all, they need to. They need to convince themselves that they want to go on this journey. If you are passionate about numbers and you know that you want to, you know you can do it, you can go for it. You have to believe in yourself.
So I would ask you,
Self-belief,
with all that you've attained, you've come a long way.
if you say so.
I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. So, is there still maybe with this the degree, the certificates, right? Do you think that there's still something that you want to attain, or you're done?
I'm not done. In a few weeks' time, I'll be a doctor.
Oh,
I'll be done with my doctorate.
That's amazing.
In fact, tomorrow I'll be defending my postfield.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank
So,
you
is
very
it Unilag or where?
Lasso.
Congratulations. So, would you invite us to come?
Yes, I will definitely invite you. Maybe by the time this
nice.
podcast will be out, I'll be a doctor. by then.
So by then we'll be addressing you as doctor. Wow, that's
Yes,
amazing.
yes. In a few weeks' time, yes.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes.
That's a very good job. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So you've also been a contributor to international finance publications
Yes.
like AAC, AB Magazine. So what drives your thought leadership?
What's my environment? I also write. I'm a weekly columnist with Business Day as well.
Okay.
So I write every week. I write. And I love writing about relevant things. Just share my thoughts. So it's my environment. My environment drives my thought process. Yes. Yeah.
I think I need to come and take lessons on how to write.
My door is open.
Okay, thank you for that. So we wrapped up with the finance and tax and fraud, and that was a very packed conversation. So now we're just moving to just exciting questions, and you can be free. Just be free with
I've
it.
been free.
So yes. So what's one finance habit you cannot live without?
Finance habits like that. Budgeting. Yes. Let me use an example. Assuming I want to build a bungalow. I would document everything, even to the last kobo. If I give you money to buy nail for me, I would document it.
You must account for whole penny.
So I can't do without my document and my notes. It's on my phone.
Yeah.
So I must document.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a very good one. So what's one mistake that happened that taught you, or what's a mistake that taught you more than what success has taught you?
One mistake. Can you rephrase that question?
A mistake that taught you more than any success ever did.
Okay. I think I don't think it's because for me, I believe in God and I believe in destiny. So if I make any mistake, I believe it's
supposed to
it's the will of God. Yes. So I don't like overthinking things.
Yeah.
For the sake of my mental health. So I just let it go. So I don't
every
like
disappointment is a blessing, basically.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
nice. So coffee, tea, or audit adrenaline?
Tea is okay.
Tea, okay.
Tea, perfect. Tea.
Okay. So if you could automate one thing in your life, not work, what would it be?
I can automate money into my pocket. But I think, seriously speaking, okay, I think the way people handle money too, the way we handle personal finance, if I can do that, I want more people to handle personal finance the way they handle their phone, so that everybody will know how to handle wealth, handle money. So you don't just keep spending money anyhow. Yes.
Thank you for that. So we've come to the end of today's episodes. It's been very insightful, inspiring, and rich. The conversation has been rich, and we've laughed here and there. And thank you for joining us on CFO
Welcome.
CFO.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll still reach out to you again to have maybe just a tax and fraud conversation.
Okay.
So, yes,
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And for everyone listening and watching, if you're looking to modernize your finance operations from invoicing, budgeting, basically to get control over your finances, go check out Budgety. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, drop your comments. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, we'll definitely pick it up from there. All right. Thank you very much once again, sir, for joining us on CFO to CFO. We look forward to having you again if you accept our invitation.
I will gladly accept. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. So to everyone, bye. Hello, welcome to another episode of the CFO to CFO podcast.